Off work. It is the final day of Summer League 7/15/19. The NBA season has seen its recent draft picks show their stuff, and of course, free agents that are trying to make teams trying to show their stuff. We had it all happen in Summer League, and I want to break down, for me, some of the players that stood out that looked to be contributors for the season, and some of the players that teams that are trying to fill in the gaps, fill in the holes, need to look at. Surprises. Let's get into draft wise. So let me go. Let's start with Salt Lake City. I'm going to go through, and I know I'm just looking at point leaders, but just off of this list, I'm talking about most improved, and I want to maybe let me do this by team. Okay. If I go through to the Atlanta Hawks, it's going to be a long video. If I go through to the Atlanta Hawks, and what I saw in Summer League, was there a particular player that stood out from a Hawks perspective? So that's what I'm trying to get to. And for me, with Omari Spellman being God, I think that was the player that stood out to me the most for Summer League. Bruno Fernando didn't necessarily play enough minutes. He played enough minutes, but didn't really show out. Only averaged about 4 points a game. I still have him as a sleeper. Hunter, their first round draft pick, he was a type of guy. But man, Spellman for me, and I know they got Mr. Brown and Seabird in there. Spellman for me, who got traded to the Golden State Warriors, was a top performer for the Atlanta Hawks. Let me continue on. Boston Celtics. Hey guys, Carson Edwards is what a player. He's Fred VanVleet on steroids. I mean, this guy he's a starter to me. I just don't know where you play him. He's definitely going to be one of the top 6 men you're going to see in the league. Carson Edwards, 19 points, almost 20 points per game. What work done in the Summer League for Carson Edwards? Another one of my favorite picks I said would be top impact players. I'll try to get a link in here in the description box so you guys can watch that, see if I'm falsifying my statements. Other than that, Trayvon Walters out of LSU, not bad performance. Robert Williams, again, he's going to be just, the big glue guy. But, let me talk about Taco Fall. Interesting play. He is actually fluid for a big, tall guy. He can run a little bit. I would definitely pick Taco Fall up. I think he's done enough to garner himself a position on a team. And maybe it is the Celtics who just lost Mr. Al Horford. I like Taco Fall. I think that's somebody you bring in if you can with a roster spot. Grant Williams, of course, he did very well. Again, I was surprised from what I saw from him, but his body of work has transitioned over. Again, remember, this Summer League, they're playing their peers and not really, 5-year, 6-year vets. There's a couple of those guys in there, but really, these are just your peers, and he didn't do too bad. So Celtics, I tell you what, their whole summer league team didn't look too bad, but Carson Edwards really stood out. Grant Williams did his thing, but Taco Fall was probably the most interesting play for me. 12 minutes, almost averaging 7 points a game in only 12 minutes of play. Let's continue down. Brooklyn Nets. Jared Allen, I'm going to skip over him, right? We know what he was supposed to do, right? But for some reason, they're combining Brooklyn with the Charlotte Hornets, who I'm not going to go over. I was a little bit disappointed by what I saw from Miles Bridges. Still an exciting player, but I think he should have done more. But let's keep with Brooklyn because you can see the merge here, so that's what I'm talking about him. Jared Allen, good second-year run. He's going to have to back up DeAndre. I was confused by that pickup by the Nets, but they did get DeAndre. But I do like Allen. I actually like Allen better than DeAndre. Allen can shoot free throws, can block shots, almost 10 rebounds per game. He has really tried to improve himself just by him even playing the Summer League. I really like him as an up-and-coming center. And I think, again, great showing from him for Brooklyn. Just don't know what they're doing with their center position. Dwayne Bacon, I had him listed as one of my MIP players for next year. The reason why they could have made some trades. Let's see what he does. Average 15. Not bad. Only shot 39% from the field. That was my issue with him. But he's a jump shooter. I think he can be a poor man's Glenn Rice when it's all said and done. Actually, he has more handle than that. But, somewhere in between of that, Mike Finley, Glenn Rice type of player. We'll see what Dwayne Bacon can do. I think he can be a solid contributor. Other than that, I didn't really see anyone else that standing out. This is going to have to be the Brooklyn Nets and Charlotte Hornets because they combined them for some reason. Devontae Graham out of Kansas. Again, he's solid backup. That's what it'll be. And Miles Bridges. He did the Miles Bridges thing, but, I wanted more from him. I wanted him to be a 20-point scorer. He does have a jump shot. I think he's not utilizing it enough. And once we start to see that fall down, Miles Bridges will be in an MIP contention. I think he can easily reach the level of maybe Aaron Gordon. Next one down. And we didn't even talk about, I think that's about it. Brimley. Nick Claxton, limited minutes. I want to just highlight that. And Jalen Hands. That was some of their draft picks. Limited minutes, 5.5 points a game. They're learning the game. Had some good stints. But I didn't see enough from these kids, and I was hoping to see a little bit more. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to contribute right away. He's got to learn the game. Down one, let's go to Chicago Bulls. The Bulls. Kobe White, solid. Speed is not transitioning. I don't know if he's injured. It is not transitioning. But he's been solid. He's been in control. Look at the field goal percentage, though. Only 34%. I wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with the assist ratio. He's really going to have to learn that point guard position, and they're ready to let go of Chris Dunn. I do think his counterpart that no one talks about is Shaq Harris. Shaq Harrison had a tremendous time in this league. Shot 46% from the field, 6 points. His assist can lose some more, but look at the steals per game. Great defensive player. Shaq Harris is a definite keeper for the Chicago Bulls. I think he did a lot of work. I think he sees something special. Daniel Gafford, he's another one of these Willie Cauley-Stein, DeAndre Jordan types. Rebound, took the place of Bobby Portis essentially with a little bit more athletic ability. Really liked what I saw out of him, and I think he's going to be a solid center, power forward, off the bench, or possibly starter and sometime for the Chicago Bulls. Hutchinson was a glue guy and needs to improve his shooting percentage. You can see it there, only 29%. So really the standout for me for the Bulls was Daniel Gafford. He won it out for me, and then Shaq Harrison second. And then comes Kobe White, who I think, again, he needs some work there. He needs some work just to get acclimated to the game and the speed. Jumping down, Cleveland Cavaliers. Mitchell Long, what a summer league. I mean, it was amazing. Amazing what they picked out of this kid. 17 points a game, right? 5 rebounds. Hey, the stats are right there. All 4. I don't got to talk all this yin yang. It's the stats that's talking for me. And he's doing his thing. 16 points a game. I really think he stood out. Mr. Newman did well as well. I don't know if he's going to be able to make the squad. Their draft pick, Mr. Dwindler, shot 40%. He was solid. I think he did some good things. Good enough. I understand the pick now. Can't say I hate him. Obviously, the guys we didn't see is their 4th pick, Mr. Darius Garland, and then obviously Kevin Porter Jr. Those are guys that missed out in the summer league. But again, they had some great contributions from a couple of these players here, and I really do like what I saw out of Mitchell Long. I think he'll make this team, and he's going to be an exciting contributor. I don't know what happens to Mr. Newman. But Windler looks like he's going to be what he is, a 3-point shooter. Is going to stretch the floor for some teams. So not much to say there. Mitchell Long was a standout. Dallas Mavericks, bump. Whew. Cameron Payne, I mean, he's a vet now. I mean, did what a vet's supposed to do, 20 points per game, great shooting percentage. Somebody should pick him up, right? They got a lot of contribution here. They're draft picks. Let's just go to draft picks, right? Because they got some solid second, third year guys that really contributed, as you can see, from a point percentage for the Dallas. So he may have garnered himself a spot, Mr. Payne. Maybe he can take this place of Devin Harris. So let's go. Isaiah Roby was their draft pick. 8 points a game, shot 43%, 5 rebounds. And Mr. Antetokounmpo, not bad, 6 points per game, Shot 39%. Oh, I thought he was a 70, so I can't even talk about him. Yeah, Giannis's brother needs to improve by next year. He's going to have some trouble. So, not bad by the minutes because he's a big guy, but the stretch needs to happen. He needs to be contributing in some form or fashion, whether it's block shots or getting at least 5 to 6 rebounds with the number of minutes he's playing. 13 minutes is not a lot, but he needs to do a little bit more with the level of competition that he's playing for this team. So Isaiah Roby again stood out. I think he's going to be another glue guy for them. Then Cameron Payne, wow, nice guard work. He may get signed with another team or may have to go to China. I hate to say that for him because of the way it's stacked up in the NBA with lineups. Denver Nuggets, we didn't get anyone that we wanted to see. I'm sorry to say that. I didn't mean it in a bad way, but Bobo and Mike Porter Jr., we didn't get any of those guys. But we got Mr. Jared Vanderbilt, so 11 points a game. Mr. Goodwin, average 18.5. Solid. Nothing really to talk about here as any other rookie. Nothing really to talk about, guys, with this team. Solid second year, third year guys doing their thing. We'll see if they can get picked up by a team on some type of two-way contract. I'm going to skip over Detroit Pistons. And what a summer league for. If you didn't see him play, you wouldn't know it, but Sky Mihalu from the Laker trade, what a freaking game he had. Cedric Demboya, not bad. Look at that, 13 with 9 points. That's what you're looking for. That's what you need to see with the Giannis's brother. What we're seeing with Cedric, so he can score. I think took him out the first game. I think he's ready. I liked what I saw. Bruce Bowen, 13.5. Again, this was a strongly, heavily defensive-focused team. I liked what I saw. Bruce Brown. Not bad work from this team. There's another gentleman. Where is he at? Nope, that's all we had. So it was Brown, and then Mikhailou was a standout. Demboya looks solid. Looks to be the next coming of what maybe Al-Farouq Aminu was supposed to be coming in the league. Let's continue down. Houston Rockets, man, what steals they got. Mr. Chris Clemens, Jesus Christ, sign this man. Nate Robinson on steroids. He's a pure scorer, can get it how he wants it at any time. He needs a contract. Sign this man, Mr. Chris Clemens. Somebody needs to check him out. Gary Clark, solid. Harkstein at center was solid. Czech Chioza was solid. Trevon Duval just did not get the minutes. It's a shame to see. He can produce, but is not getting the minutes. He's doing the best with what he's allotted. Raul Atkins as well. I thought he would do a little bit more. These two are extremely athletic prospects that I would pick up irregardless. Have him sitting. Shamari Pons got invited, but man, the work done by Clemens and Chioza made it tough for Pons. 7.2, only shot 30%. Has to shoot better. Had to be in the 40s. He didn't beat anyone out. I'm scared about his prospects for Mr. Shamari Pons. Unless they saw something in practice, he may have to head over to Europe or do the G League thing for a little bit. But standouts obviously is Chris Clemens. Gary Clark did his thing, and Chioza controlled the floor pretty well. I like what I saw out of him. As you can see here, 6 assists and almost 53%. Chioza's an exciting player in college, so I'm glad to see him get some run. Indiana Pacers. Aaron Holiday, he's the next point guard, so I forgot about him in that Darren Collinson move. He's there. A. Johnson was solid. He's improved himself as well. Bruce Bowen, not bad. Again, the standout for me was definitely Aaron Holiday. He looks like he's ready to take over the role of point guard. I didn't see much from Gore, their draft pick, Batasi. I think he's still over in Europe, so we can't talk about him. But Aaron Holiday, obviously, just by the numbers, I'm not gonna say much. Solid. Could have shot better, and that was his issue. That's why he just gave A. Johnson the advantage. A big power forward, burly. Has really improved himself and really shown how development can make a player better. Great job by the Indiana Pacers development team in developing Mr. A. Johnson. He was raw out of college, and they made him into something, and I like what I'm seeing. Jumping down, LA Clippers. Who else do they freaking need? What a season they had. Well, they got some great one from Kabagale. I talked about him from Florida State. I think there's some options here for them with him. I love him, and I think he did a great job. He showed what he could do in college. Can stretch the floor, 41% rebound, steal for this team with the kind of lineup they have. Could be an X factor between the wars between the Lakers and the Clippers. I'm telling you, Mr. Kumbangali can be something special, and they got a steal out of this man. Terrence Mann wasn't too bad as well. Again, these Florida State guys, I don't know what's in the juices, but I think it's their coach out in Florida State. Doc Rivers knew what system players he was drafting, and they're fitting very well within the system. Great job to the Clippers in getting 2 steals from Florida State. LA Lakers, wow, what help do they need? I mean, I didn't like what they saw out of anybody except Mr. Perkins. Solid Mr. Nick Perkins there, big center, did a great job on the rebound board. Solid player, can create space inside. I really like what I saw from him. Norvell Jr. Struggled a little bit, right? Top guy was Josh Caroline, that's shooting at least 50%. I think, again, the only person I thought can make this team was Mr. Nick Perkins, a space driver, but we shall see. I think it'll still be tough for him to make it, but I would sign him to a 2-way and stash him away. Nothing else to talk about there. Memphis Grizzlies, Brandon Clark, what a surprise. Great offseason. Can shoot the 3. Bruno Caboclo, hey, out of nowhere, not bad. Hey, game proof, can shoot the 3, block shots. Really show what made him a prospect out of Brazil. I like what I saw out of Bruno Caboclo. Let's see if he can make this team. Brandon Clark out of Gonzaga. What a terrific player they got. Can shoot the 3, shoot the mid-range, shot over 55%. He is definitely a top 5 performer for me in the summer league. And great draft pick by the Memphis Grizzlies. Miami Heat, you're my hero. He did it. I mean, again, I talked about Rex Chapman Jr. Didn't like the pick early, but I guess they needed him. I mentioned that in my video, draft picks. So he's solid. He's done his thing, shot 42%, shoot a high attempted number. But the real standout was Kendrick Nunn. What a steal there. Can he try to make the team? With Tyler there, it's going to be difficult, right, to key him out. But what a off season from Kendrick Nunn. He's an unadulterated scorer, an amazing one at that. I really like what I saw out of Kendrick Nunn for the Miami Heat. Tyler Hero also stood out. Those are 2 standouts. Duncan Robinson was also solid. Looks to be a nice stretch 4. Hey, you can put him there. It's a stretch 3, a stretch 4. Glue guy. I like him. Will he make the team? He's already on 2-way. Let's see what happens there. I think Miami Heat did themselves a good service by getting Mr. Duncan Robinson. Milwaukee. Landale was solid. I mean, I don't know what else to say there. I mean, solid. I don't want to go over the Bucks. They were solid. They might find some role players here. Standouts for me. Let's talk about Naz Reid. I'm just going to jump. 18 minutes, was nursing a foot injury. Led him to the championship game. I love Naz Reid. I think this is a steal of the draft. And they steal because he's drafted as a free agent. It wasn't even drafted. I don't know what idiot chose to do that, but they're regretting it now. They finally see what he can do in the summer league. He's doing his thing. 12 points, remember, on limited 18 minutes, shooting 46% from the field, averaging about 2 assists and 5 rebounds. Liked what I saw, almost a block again. Great job by Naz Reid. He's made this team. Bates Diop, defensive presence. Okogie, defensive presence. McLaughlin controlled the floor pretty well. And then Mr. Martin was solid as well. But who stood out for me definitely was Naz Reid with the limited amount of minutes he was playing. Really solid for this team. Going down, New Orleans Pelicans. Oh, Jesus Christ, what a steal. I mean, to have Frank Jackson and Nick Alexander-Walker, I am scared of what's going to happen to Mr. Lonzo Ball. I'm worried about what is truly going to happen to his position. Is he going to be traded again? Because Nick Alexander-Walker is ready to go. Nearly 24 points per game, 6 assists, can shoot. Solid player. Poor Lonzo Ball. What did you get yourself into? Next up is definitely my front runner. So this is my 4 and 3. Number 4 is Jackson Hayes. What an athletic beast with motivation. Willie Cauley-Stein with some heart. Hate to say that in that way, but a little bit more drive in the part of Mr. Jackson Hayes. I love Mr. Hayes, an exceptional leaper that is going to get it done at the next level because of his energy. Nick Alexander-Walker is just a hungry, crafty player. And right now, the Pelicans are looking like the smartest people in the world when you look at it from a future perspective. They really, really utilized those picks wisely and picked up two great guys that will contribute for their teams in the future. So it's been a win-win for the Pelicans and Lakers in that Anthony Davis trade. Alonzo Trier, remember, he has a 40-inch vertical. Doesn't belong in the summer league, and he's proven that. I think he's going to be a runner-up for Sixth Man of the Year at some point in his career. Kevin Knox was solid. Barrett was a disappointment. Shooting 34% from the field was horrible, but if we look at the rest of the stat lines, just stat lines wise, because he's just so quietly, you don't notice. Almost 9 rebounds per game. So again, Barrett's a solid player. Everyone's doing a comparison. I was thinking about Ron Artest, right? Because he dribbles so hard. He's such a rough player. Skinnier Ron Artest, a little bit more leaping ability. I mean, that's what I see there. And that's a pretty good player in the NBA. But the real standout for me wasn't Barrett. It was his stellar teammate from Michigan who I was doubting. I said, what the hell were they thinking? But Brazilskis is looking pretty freaking good from Michigan. What a pick up there. And I think they're happy with that in the second round. Shooting 51% from the field. Doing a little bit of everything, assist-wise and rebound-wise. He's going to be a solid contributor. Definitely will make an NBA roster, and he'll be with the Knicks for the time being until he decides to get more money. Great job by Brazdaskis in the Summer League and showing what he can do. Mitchell Robinson is the heir apparent to DeAndre Jordan, maybe a 3.0 version instead of a 4.0. We'll see how he does, and there's really not much to talk about there. We knew about Mitchell. Oklahoma City, with all the trades that have been happening, I expected Mr. Diallo and Mr. Dort to step up. I think they did okay. Diallo shot 43% from the floor, which is an improvement. I'm hoping he can get to the 45-50% mark. 4 rebounds, almost a block a game. He's an all-around player. Look for Mr. Diallo to maybe experience the effect that the gentleman from the Indiana Pacers has had, Victor Oladipo. I can see Diallo turning into Oladipo if he works hard enough, and great job by him. Deontay Burton, a little bit disappointed by Deontay, but not by much. 22 minutes, almost 7 points per game, 5 rebounds, but I wanted him to bust loose for double digits so they can force this team to sign him. Lukan's Dortz, amazing player. It's going to have to be picked up with Russell Westbrook gone. And I'll tell you what, he's a sleeper, folks. Russell Westbrook's gone, but they got a sleeper. Dort is another explosive player. I'm not saying he's Russell Westbrook. But hey, let's see what the development team for Florida, for the team can do. Dort is something special. I hope they sign him. Looked great along with Diallo. And again, Burn was solid, but I thought he could do more. Next one down, Orlando Magic. Look how long this is, right? Emil Jefferson, solid. Mo Bamba, solid. Again, not much to talk about there. Their draft picks did their thing. They're big men. They got a series of big men they can use. But one thing that stuck out, Mo Bamba shooting 71% from the field. Only played one game, but had 15 points, and Emil Jefferson was solid. Daquan Jeffries out of Tulsa, big athletic guard. Maybe the heir apparent to Terrence Ross, but with more muscularity. Great leaper, but I think he has more slash ability. Not bad. I think he makes his team. He's an all-around defensive presence. He can back up Evan Fournier for the time being. Philadelphia 76ers. What a surprise here, but what an improvement. I'm going to go start first before I love. Zaire Smith, what an improvement this summer, going from playing a forward position, almost a power forward position in college, to coming his own from the guard position, 48% from the field. Scouting work by the Sixers is exceptional. Great job for them on this guy. PJ Dozier was solid, as well as Matisse Thybulle is going to stretch the floor. He also shot 43%. And then Miles Shyack, I was surprised and angry at this pick from Iowa State. But Jesus, he is doing his thing. He can shoot it. He has everything. I think this is a great pickup. I am happy with what I've seen from the 76ers. They have options on their summer league that may be able to help them contribute to them winning the Eastern Conference Finals. Phoenix Suns. Interesting. Not much to talk about. except Jalen Leak. I think Jalen Leak was exciting, had a big 20-point game straight out of high school. Even though he's an older high school player, I really like what I saw out of him. 9 points, shooting almost 46% from the field. Not a bad assist. He needs to get his assist up, as I think he'll move to a point guard role. I know that the Oklahoma City Thunder were dying to try to get him after this Russell Westbrook trade. Portland trailblazed my life away. Anthony Simons solid, Trent Jr. solid. I mentioned those two. They're going to be great contributors. Darnell Stokes was also pretty good, and Devin Robinson, a big leaper. Wonder if they can pick him up to take over some of the Aminu type of deal. He's tremendous 40-inch vertical athlete at 6'9". I think Devin Robinson's a keeper. Shot over 53% from the field. So as Mr. Darnell Stokes, who could be the Enes Kanter, who just left. And Simons and Trent Jr. are starters, I think, in the league, who are playing off the bench at this time due to the lineup. So great job by Portland. I really like them. I really like those 4 top guys to try to make this team and do something. Obviously, Simons and Trent Jr. are signed, so Stokes and Robinson will be the if factors. Sacramento, Kyle Guy was solid. He's really the only standout. Samaj Christensen looked like freaking, I don't know, Magic Johnson mixed with John Stockton. The passes he was laying in this summer league, very solid, but he's an older player, so he has more experience. I could attribute it to that, but he definitely should make a team somewhere. I don't know if he meets the Sacramento Kings, but if I'm him, I would call up Indiana Pacers and say, who you got, what you got, are you looking into somebody? Maybe an opportunity for him to back up on those teams. San Antonio, my favorite, Lonnie Walker Jr. looks like the heir apparent to DeMar DeRozan. He had DeMar DeRozan in the summer, and he is looking great. I really like what I see. He should be off the Summer League team. Potential starter. Spurs have some talent, so let's see what happens there. I think they should start real big. Keldon Johnson, also very solid. And also, obviously, Lucas Samanic was solid. You can see the numbers there, 10 points a game. Didn't shoot too well from the field as well as Keldon Johnson, but did a lot of the good things. I really like what I see from Lucas Samanic as well as Keldon. Thomas Robinson made his appearance, return to the NBA on the Summer League. He's probably one of the older guys there. He did okay as well, but Lonnie Walker was a highlight. Toronto Raptors, right? Chris Boucher was a star there. Long player, what's his name effect, the Pascal Siakam effect is in the full effect, and what a nice game they got from Chris Boucher. Mr. Lloyd good as well, and Mr. Dewan Hernandez, again, solid players. Wish there was a lot more roster spots open, but there can't be, so I think Boucher is in. He's really shown himself, can stretch the floor, can block, rebound. Solid overall player. Is coming to his own. Raptors got another steal there. Utah Jazz. Bradley was a talk. I mean, that was it. Bradley and Justin Wright Foreman had an exceptional first game, but only shot 24% after that. Needs to improve. Milioni, not bad. Didn't see much there, though. And Mr. G. King was also solid, but I think Mr. Bradley really took the show. Playing on the inside will be a great backup for their big center, Rudy Gobert. Going down one more. Did I skip Detroit? I feel like Detroit was missed for some reason. No, I got Detroit. So my last one was Washington Wizards, right? And I think I skipped over. Yeah, Washington Wizards, Rui was a talk. Great job by Rui. I really do think he did himself a lot of favors in this summer league. Troy Brown as well, but Rudy Hamachura is something they can build off of based upon the summer league 7 rebounds. Did the same things he did in college. It has transitioned. It's all about spacing. He knows how to do that, and that's really my summary. So standouts is definitely Lonnie Walker, Nick Alexander Walker, another Walker, and then we got Mr. Jackson Hayes. I love what I saw out of Tony Bradley and then Chris Clemens out of Houston, Brzezikis from the Knicks. These were all, and then obviously Naz Reid was one of my favorites out of the Minnesota team. He needs to be uplifted in somebody that they look to sign. So I'll fork him sign off, giving you my summary from the Summer League. What happened now? What do they got? They got a lot. Great job for these kids. Hopefully they all make it, or at least get over to Europe for some of the other guys I didn't mention. Off, work them out. Peace.